Hey friends, welcome back. This week we found a hidden arch behind a gas station, squeezed through slot canyons, stood at the edge of Horseshoe Bend, and entered one of the most dramatic national parks in the whole country. Week 8, here we go!
Ashley, Jake, and Sam the cat here. We are embarking on an adventure in our camper van to see 7 of the 30 MLB stadiums. Thank you so much for joining our journeys. This week, we traveled from the Grand Canyon to Page, Arizona, with a stop in Kanab, Utah before heading into Zion National Park. We left off last week watching the sunset at the Grand Canyon. The next day, we kept it easy. This trip is all about balancing work and play, and sometimes the balance tips towards the laptop. I'm gonna do a little work outside today at the Grand Canyon. Guess what we're doing tonight? Don't worry, guys. Sam is still getting plenty of outdoors time. We woke up for sunrise at the Grand Canyon. Our final morning at the canyon, we were up for sunrise. A bit too early for our liking, but we did it. It was a little cloudy, still completely stunning. The Grand Canyon does not have a bad angle. We took a nap in the parking lot, very on brand, and then knocked out our van checklist, dumped the tanks, filled the water, and took a 5-minute shower. The park has a services building with laundry and showers, and you pay $2.50 for 5 minutes. I have never moved so fast in my life. Worth every single one of those 10 quarters. Feeling fresh and ready, we hit the road towards Page, Arizona. I genuinely did not expect Page to become one of my favorite stops on this trip, but here we are. Page sits at about 4,300 feet of elevation on a plateau above Lake Powell, a massive reservoir on the Colorado River that stretches across the Arizona-Utah border. The town was actually built in 1957 as a construction camp for workers building the Glen Canyon Dam, one of the largest concrete arch dams in the United States. It's a small town, but it punches way above its weight when it comes to natural wonders. Within just a few miles, you have Antelope Canyon, Horseshoe Bend, Lake Powell, and the surrounding Navajo Nation lands. It's an extraordinary place. The first surprise came the moment we pulled into town, an incredible arch right behind a gas station. Guys, we found one of those cool places that they say are right behind the gas station. Look at this. Insane. A sign nearby read Beatty, the arch. The Navajo word Beatty can be understood as the arch, used to describe the graceful, curved stone formations that appear across the Navajo homeland, shaped over thousands of years by wind and water. For the Dene people, such arches are not only striking landmarks, but part of a living landscape filled with stories and teachings. What a welcome to Page. Wow, we just found a killer campsite. It's called Beehive, and we're in Page, Arizona. Look at this view. It's amazing. Also, it's only $14 a night, which is amazing. There's no hookups, but there are bathrooms. I assume there's no showers, probably pit toilets, but nothing beats a view like that. Have you guys ever seen a pit toilet before? After settling in, we walked over to explore the Beehive Rock Formations right nearby. These are stunning sandstone butts shaped by millions of years of erosion. The layered, rounded tops resemble old-fashioned beehives, which is exactly how they got their name. The formations are part of the Entrada sandstone geological layer, the same rock type found throughout the canyon country of the Southwest. Colors range from deep red to orange to pale pink, depending on the light and the time of day. So Page is super cool. We just hiked around these rock formations and it was amazing. Look, there's the van. We felt like little kids out there, partially following the trail marked with loose rocks, partially making our own path, climbing steep walls to overlooks that stopped us in our tracks. Then golden hour hit, and the whole landscape turned amber. Hi friends! Today we are going to Lower Antelope Canyon. We're still in Page, Arizona, and supposedly this is the thing to do while you're here. Although we saw some pretty cool stuff last night that you didn't have to pay for, but I assume this is worth it, right babe?
That's right.
We'll let you guys know. Antelope Canyon is a slot canyon on Navajo Nation land near Page, carved over thousands of years by flash floods, forcing water through narrow cracks in the sandstone. The flowing water shaped the walls into smooth, wave-like curves that are honestly hard to believe are natural. There are two sections, upper and lower. Lower Antelope Canyon, also called the corkscrew by the Navajo, requires descending into the earth via a series of steel staircases. It's narrow, otherworldly, and the light that filters down through the openings above creates colors that shift constantly throughout the day. Tours are operated exclusively by Navajo-owned companies, and visiting with a guide is required. The guides are incredibly knowledgeable and genuinely enhance the experience. The tour was amazing. Jaden was a great tour guide, and we got some incredible photos. We weren't allowed to take videos in there, which is understandable, but we'll post one of the epic photos that we got in the canyon here. Time for some BBQ. Looks delicious. Jake's already eating. Next up, Horseshoe Bend. Another one that no photo fully prepares you for. We're stopping at Horseshoe Bend now, which is supposed to be a really cool rock formation. We're excited. Here we go. We've got all the sun protection. We got a water backpack. It's about 1.5 mile round trip, and we're looking for the trailhead right now. Found it! Whoa! Seems to be a very popular attraction. Horseshoe Bend is a horseshoe-shaped meander of the Colorado River, located just a few miles south of Page. The overlook sits about 1,000 feet above the river below, and the drop is sheer. The Colorado River carved this bend as the land slowly rose around it. The river kept cutting downward while the plateau lifted, creating the deep, dramatic curve you see today. Back at the van. After a magical day, we headed back to the campground, made dinner, and watched yet another stunning Page sunset. This place really delivers.
What did I just walk in on? Goodbye, Page. This is Lake Powell. We didn't get to visit it, but we can't do everything in 2 days. The next morning, we said goodbye to Page and headed towards Kanab, Utah, with a perfect midpoint stop at the Toadstool Hoodoos. All right, we're going on the Toadstool Trail. Heard it's otherworldly. Hoodoos are tall, thin spires of rock formed when a hard, erosion-resistant calf rock sits on top of softer rock underneath. Wind and water erode the softer layer faster, leaving the harder top balanced on a narrowing column, like a mushroom, or in this case, a toadstool. The Toadstool Hoodoos in the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument area are especially dramatic. Towering, top-heavy formations rising from a wide-open desert landscape. The short hike is about 1.5 miles round trip, and absolutely worth the stop. This place is a laundromat and a car wash. Perfect for van life.
Let's clean the van together.
Bingy got a full exterior wash. We did an enormous amount of laundry.
Multi-tool for the win. Got all our coins back, babe.
And I did a deep clean inside the van. Full reset. We spent our first night on BLM land, next to a beautiful reservoir.
Jake's gonna try out this porta potty. He said he'd let me know how it goes. Maybe the local people keep it really clean. We don't know. Meanwhile, must not have been good. Maybe he needs toilet paper. He said it's BYOTP. I thought that was funny.
The next day was mostly admin, posting week 7, picking up our brand new business cards, and a necessary stop at a cute coffee shop.
Are you enjoying the sunshine? Like how all these towns have a letter on the mountain so you know what town you're in.
That evening, we attended a star party hosted by the Stellar Vista Observatory. Kanab's dark skies are incredible, and the observatory team made it a genuinely special experience.
Good morning! We went to a star party last night, and it was so fun. They had telescopes and told us where all the constellations were, and we just hung out with people who know way more about outer space than we do. We slept there afterwards, and now we're heading out to Zion. We got a co-pilot. You gonna get us to Zion? She's too tired. We're doing the Belly of the Dragon hike. Just a quarter mile down and back. Look at that, babe. Going in.
After leaving Kanab, we made a quick stop at the Belly of the Dragon, a short, unique tunnel hike carved through a sandstone formation. The Belly is a tunnel about 150 feet long that you walk directly through.
No!
It narrows at points, and the light at the end creates a dramatic glow effect. It sits along an old pioneer road and is believed to have been used by early settlers passing through southern Utah. The whole hike is less than a mile and makes for a great quick stop between destinations. Then, Zion National Park. The drive into the park is beautiful from the outside. The moment you pass through the gates and into the canyon, it takes your breath away. If you're driving, remember to breathe. There are some tight turns.
We made it to Zion!
Woo! Zion is one of the most visited national parks in the United States, welcoming over 4.5 million visitors annually. Located in southwestern Utah, it sits at the junction of the Colorado Plateau, the Great Basin, and the Mojave Desert, 3 distinct ecosystems meeting in one place, which is why the biodiversity here is extraordinary. The canyon itself was carved by the Virgin River, cutting through Navajo sandstone to create walls that rise up to 2,000 feet. The park covers over 229 square miles and contains canyons, mesas, and of course the famous Narrows, one of the most iconic hikes in the world, which we'll be saving for next week. We managed to snag 4 nights at Watchman Campground by keeping a close eye on the reservation site in the days leading up to our visit. Someone dropped a long reservation and we grabbed it immediately. Persistence pays off.
We just arrived at Watchman Campground in Zion National Park. Got 4 nights here, 3 in the spot that we're currently at, which we just happened upon when we were looking one day. These spots book 6 months in advance, so we just got really fortunate. We just kept checking the website and ended up getting into this spot. And then Jake was looking again, and we were able to get 1 more day before we head to Valley of Fire. So that's what's going on.
After settling in, we headed to Springdale, the charming little town just outside the park entrance. We asked about renting gear for the Narrows and explored a bit, checking out the little shops. Then we hopped on the shuttle and rode it all the way through the canyon to get a feel for the layout. Back to the van, made dinner, early to bed. Big hike tomorrow.
Get to watch the sunrise over the mountains. Someone wants to come outside. Oh, we're going on a hike. How do you feel about Zion so far, babe?
Wow.
We found a deer by the visitor center. So the trail we're doing starts at the Zion Lodge, which we just got off of the bus from, and then goes on the Grotto Trail. We'll cross the road to the Kayenta Trail and then down to the Emerald Pools, back to the Zion Lodge.
Our first hike of the park, the Emerald Pools. If you're visiting in summer, start early. It gets hot fast. We were on trail by 8:30 a.m. and felt the temperature climbing quickly. The Emerald Pools are a series of 3 hanging gardens and waterfalls carved into the canyon walls.
Just a little waterfall here this morning.
The lower pool features a wide, shallow pool with a waterfall dripping from the cliff above. The middle pool sits in a dramatic alcove. The upper pool is the most secluded, although it was quite busy on a Saturday in May, but arguably the most rewarding. A beautiful green pool nestled beneath towering red walls.
Making a lot of friends on this hike. Jake gave out our brand new business cards. Exciting! Hope you guys are watching our YouTube.
We hiked about 4 miles total, doing all 3 pools, upper, middle, and lower. You can absolutely customize this hike to your comfort level, but of course, we did all 3.
We made it to the upper Emerald Pool. It's beautiful. Very peaceful. I mean, there's a lot of people here, but it's still pretty quiet. Whee! We're almost there. Look at the horses.
We finished around 11 a.m., refilled water, stopped at the Court of Patriarchs viewpoint, 3 massive sandstone peaks named for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and walked the scenic drive to the parish trail back to the visitor center and home sweet home.
There's a hummingbird. We're gonna have a little picnic on this rock by the creek. Well, I guess this isn't a creek, it's the Virgin River. Now we're walking on the parish trail, which is gonna lead us back to the visitor center from the scenic drive, and it's fully paved. Easy for riding bikes, walking dogs. The river is right here. We saw some people swimming in the river, which we weren't sure if you could do, so we might do that later. And look at these cute little bridges they have. We're walking over the river. I'm gonna take a nap.
8 weeks in, and this country keeps outdoing itself. Slot canyons carved by ancient water, a river bend 1,000 feet below your feet, rock formations that glow gold at sunset, and a national park so beautiful it genuinely makes it hard to drive straight. We're learning something new every single week about this land, about the people who have called it home for thousands of years, and honestly, about ourselves, about what we need, what we can do without, and how much is possible when you just keep moving forward. Thank you for being here for all of it, the sunsets, the tank dumps, and everything in between. Next week, we're heading deeper into Zion, including a hike through the Narrows, one of the most iconic trails in the country. Then we begin making our way toward Las Vegas with a stop at Valley of Fire State Park. Spoiler alert, the Nevada desert is hot in mid-May. See you then!
Hope you subscribe our video and hope you press the red button to do this.